If you've ever looked at the world of social media and just felt completely lost, you are definitely not alone. It can feel like pure chaos. But what if I told you we could turn all that noise into a clear, straightforward plan for your business? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big picture, the whole social media landscape. Then we'll dial it in and figure out the right questions to ask. After that, I'll show you a great framework for your strategy. We'll see how that looks in the real world with ads. And finally, we'll talk about how to measure what actually matters. Okay, let's just dive right in. First up, the social media landscape. And I love how our source material describes it, Ratatouille 2.0. It's kind of perfect, right? It's this giant, messy mix of a million different things all thrown together, and it's almost impossible to tell one from the other sometimes. And hey, it's not just you. The digital strategist Fred Cavazza said it perfectly. With all these new services and ideas popping up constantly, he says it really begins to be confusing. So let's just all agree on that. It's confusing. But the goal is not to stay confused. So, to get some clarity, let's just strip it all back. What is social media really? At its core, it's about three simple things that we all do as humans. We publish our ideas, we share cool stuff we find, and we socialize with each other. That's it. Every single platform, no matter how complicated it seems, is just built on those three actions. And this slide really hammers home that Ratatouille idea. I mean, just look at this list. We've got everything from old-school blogs and forums all the way to virtual worlds and massive online games like World of Warcraft. It's a huge reminder that social media isn't just one platform, it's this massive, diverse ecosystem. And here's the hard truth, the reality check. Whether you're on social media or not, I guarantee you, people are talking about your brand. You can't just hide from it. The only choice you really have is whether you want to be part of the conversation or just let it happen without you. Okay, so that brings us to the most important first step in building a strategy. Before you even think about what to post or which platform to use, you have to look in the mirror. You've got to understand what your business actually needs. It's all about finding your why before you even touch the how. And question number one, the big one, is this. Who are you actually trying to reach? And I don't just mean, women aged 25 to 40. I mean, what are their real problems? What keeps them up at night? If you don't know this, you're basically just shouting into an empty room. Next up, what does winning even look like for you? Seriously. Are you trying to get more leads? Are you just trying to get your name out there and build awareness? Or are you trying to drive sales right now? You have to define that goal, or you'll never know if you've hit the target. And finally, what's the problem you're actually trying to solve here? Is your website traffic just dead in the water? Do you have no idea what your customers think? By figuring out your challenges, you can use social media as a surgical tool, not just another thing on your to-do list. All right, so once you've answered those big questions, you need a roadmap, right? A way to guide your actions. That's where a good framework comes in. And we're going to look at a really great one called the Talking Framework. It's designed to turn all those answers into a solid plan. And here it is, Talking. It's a super simple acronym, but it's really powerful because it gives you a logical flow. It takes you all the way from figuring out your audience to actually hitting your business goals. So let's break down what each of these letters means. So the first three letters, TAL, are all about doing your homework. You start with tribes, which means really getting specific about your customer personas. Then you figure out their activities. What are they actually doing online? Are they just watching or are they creating content themselves? And finally, listening. You tune into the conversations they're already having. Now the last four letters, KING, that's your action plan. This is where the rubber meets the road. You define your KPIs or key performance indicators. You figure out your investment, who's doing this work and what tools do they need. You build your network of influential people. And finally, you set real, measurable goals that tie everything back to what the business actually needs. Okay, theory is great, but what does this actually look like in the real world? A framework is just a bunch of words until you use it. So let's make it tangible and see how this all comes together when you're creating something like a social media ad. And here's a perfect, simple breakdown. Whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever, an ad has a pretty simple anatomy. You've got a small image to catch the eye, a super short headline, a quick description, and of course, a link. Every single one of these little pieces is a chance to connect with that tribe we talked about. Now, when you're writing the copy for that ad, remember, every single word matters. You have to be concise. You need a crystal clear call to action. Literally tell people what to do. Download now, sign up here. If you can, create a little urgency. And please, tailor your language to your specific audience. What works for one group will totally bomb with another. So how do you pay for these ads? Well, you've basically got two main options. There's CPC, cost per click, where you only pay when someone actually clicks your ad. That's great for getting leads and traffic. Then there's CPM, cost per impression, where you pay for every 1,000 people who see your ad. That's better if your goal is just getting your name out there. Your choice here has to connect directly back to your goals. All right, we're at the final and maybe the most critical piece of this whole puzzle. You've done the research, you've built the strategy, you've run the ads. Now you have to actually prove it's working. We have to talk about how to measure what really matters and show a return on your investment. And I'm not talking about vanity metrics here. Forget about how many followers you have for a second. We need to focus on the KPIs that actually mean something to the business. How many people did you reach? What was your cost for each result? And most importantly, what about conversions? How many people actually did the thing you wanted them to do? That's the stuff that matters. So we're going to end with this really powerful thought from Fred Cavazza. He said, your brand does not belong to you anymore. It belongs to the millions of conversations happening online, and you can't control them. So you have to choose, are you going to suffer from those conversations, or are you going to build a strategy to benefit from them? The choice is yours.